Hello, I'm Full Paragon, and this is the July update for the Konosuba Fantastic Days tier list. We'll start off with the new characters added from the first banner, which was the Ninja 2 banner. Ninja Kazuma is good, but he's not the best, and Dark is mostly a mage-dominated element, so he'll go into B tier. Ninja Leah has a weak affliction kit, and she has zero place in the meta. If you were going to use a Dark Leah, it would be Axel Hearts, but Leah is usually passed over in Dark, regardless, so she's in C tier. Dark Erica has another weak affliction kit, and again is a physical unit in an element that does not need a physical buffer, C tier as well. On the Maid banner, Maid Rin is an on-element rockstar with gauge up, lots of damage, and a powerful team buff and a self-agility buff. Maid Rin will have a relatively short shelf life at the top of the meta, but she will keep light mages relevant for a long time. Right now she's in S tier. For Maid Silo, on paper, a high damage dealing healer looks good, but unlike El Silo or Arabian Amy, Maid Silo doesn't have powerful team buffs aside from the one in her ult. Plus, fire mages don't really need her, as Christmas Wiz doesn't work well with healers, and Christmas Wiz pretty much is the fire element in many ways. So, Maid Silo will be in B tier, but she's great in dungeons as the first and only good fire cleric. Then we have Dust. Now that we're done with that, we have the School Banner Part 1 and School Union, leaving aside the fact that she is Union, but with the ever-versatile glasses. Her new Lightning ult makes School Union very good. She's not a must-have, as Lightning does skew physical, but if you're running Lightning mages, you will need her, so she's going to go into the A tier. Next up we have School Erica, and for a brief time she'll be good, but she'll soon be eclipsed by Idol Kazuma at the end of next month for Anniversary, so she's in A tier for now, but she'll drop in just a few weeks. Ninja Kazuma is just better than School Kazuma, and Ninja Kazuma isn't any good anyway, so C tier on School Kazuma. The one and only Dark Iris, even in Japan. School Iris is okay as a 5th slot option, but there are better choices like School Erica, so she's off meta in B tier. And then there is School Dust. As for School Leah, she's in a hard place. On the one hand, she has a unique and theoretically extremely powerful ability in debuff block. In fact, it's the only one in the game. But on the other hand, Nexon has sort of forgotten that arenas that aren't light or dark exist, and it'll be a long time before she has a chance to show off. Still, I think she deserves to be in A tier, at least for now. As for Welfare Cecily, while Dust might be the whole circus, she is a certified clown and goes in C tier. Other major changes are that I am promoting Dark Rin up to S tier. She's one of the best welfare that we will ever get, outside of collabs anyway. Her self-agility buff is just unheard of in mages, and with her Dark ult, she's insanely strong. Her attack down on the boss is also very, very good, and both her skills are single target for even more damage. She absolutely deserves the promotion. On the flip side, it's been a year, and the original Union's kit is starting to show its age. She really has no relevant buffs aside from her ult, and her entire shtick is just lots of damage, something that Aru can now do better, while Maid Rin does buffing better, so she's demoted to A tier. Light Aru is demoted as well, mostly because physical is taking over Light. She's still strong, probably even better than Light Union with her new ult, but she's going down to A tier. Other demotions include Bell. He's pretty much a quintessential B tier character. He's got a good kit, he's just in the wrong element, and he needs a team that he can really gel with before he's going to see a lot of use. As such, he's demoted. The same goes for Swimsuit Megamine. It's honestly debatable that Light even needs Megamine right now, with how strong its current frontline options are, and if they are going to use a Megamine, it will be ReZero Megamine. She's just so much better from a buffing perspective. So she's dropped down to B tier as well. And while Arabian Chris is good, she just loses out to Light Kazuma, as they both serve as agility debuffers. She's being dropped to B tier as the inferior option. For the elemental tier lists, we'll start off with Fire. As per usual, Christmas Wiz is the triple S meta queen. However, this is probably the last month where I will be saying that, or second to last anyway. Through the end of this month, Christmas Wiz will continue to reign as a top tier meta queen, but starting in August, her reign will at long last be over. It will have been a long 9 months, but we're going to see a shakeup not only in the fire meta, but across the meta, and as such, Christmas will drop down. For now though, she still reigns supreme, along with her best friend Megumin the Railgun Wielder, and Halloween Union. The other good meta units in fire are Rin and Aru, because they just work well with the Just Live Mages strategy that has ruled fire for quite some time, and will continue to do so, a bit with slightly different players in the near future. Another character nearing the end of her natural lifespan is Amelia. Shortly, we're going to be having our first anniversary, at which point we will be getting Legendary Aqua, and at that point, Amelia is going to drop, and drop hard, along with the current mage meta in water. You'll see the rise of water physical teams shortly, as they will go best with Legendary Aqua, who is such an overwhelmingly powerful unit that she will reshape the meta around herself, along with powerful new choices like Swimsuit Erica, who has some of the nuttiest buffs we have yet seen. Still, for now, mages will continue their reign through the end of July and into the first part of August. The lightning element is pretty much going to remain as is, as they're not going to be getting any new characters anytime soon. This is an element that's split between physical and mages, and it'll remain that way for quite some time. Either way, Lightning CeeLo continues to be the best thing in element, and you'll use her regardless if you're going to go a mage team with Union, or a more physical team using characters like Mitsurugi and Chris. As for Earth, they don't currently have anyone in S tier, but shortly they will be getting that someone in the form of Earth Chris. For now, the meta is pretty much dominated by physical units, along with New Year Megumin, who is an incredibly powerful unit, all on her own, and she can even harness the meme power of Railgun. Even after we get Chris, I think you'll continue to see Mitsurugi, Iris, Kazuma, and Aqua as favorites, with Leah or some other characters making occasional appearances. For now, Wind is pretty much evenly split between Eyes and Rin, physical or mages, but that situation will not be lasting much longer. Rather shortly, Wind is going to go full physical, and it won't be looking back anytime soon, largely on the shoulders of Eyes, who is an incredibly powerful unit, and will usher in a new era for Wind, while Rin slowly slips out of the meta for good. Units that I would expect to continue to be good with that would be Original Chris, Mitsurugi, and of course, Eyes herself. The light element is also roughly balanced right now, with the exception of ReZero Megumin, who is one of the most imbalanced characters the game has ever received, and actually, I would probably go with her being the most broken thing we've ever seen. On the surface, she doesn't look that strong, but it's hard to oversell how powerful having two very strong buffs on skills that are both AoE to allow her to farm a large amount of gaze before firing off an ult and letting a specialist come in is. You will either use Danmachi Aqua for a physical team, or Rin for a mage team in light. Both of those options will work. Danmachi Aqua likes Kazuma, Iris, and perhaps Chris or Dust on her team, while Rin will use Union and Aru along with some other characters to get a strong team going. Dark has been and will remain an element ruled by mages. Dark Rin has just further cemented that. Alongside Aru, she's an incredibly strong dark mage. We will also continue to see Arabian Amy alongside them, though newcomer School Erica will have a brief period of use before she rapidly falls out of style. I would expect this setup to remain relatively unchanged, at least until we get our next collab, which should be Overlord in November. Now we come to the full tier list. Here you can see all of the meta units, the ones that are at the absolute top of the game and are the most worth using in Arena. Very shortly you will see the meta queens shift quite a bit. The only one that will stay there is ReZero Megumin. She's going to stay firmly in place for quite some time to come, but the other two are going to fall off slightly and be replaced by new, more powerful units at Anniversary. These are the rest of the units, the ones in B tier and below. The ones in B tier can be worth using, and if you're trying to fill some slots in the team, they can do the job, but once we get down to the C and D tier, they're just not worth using at all. I'll note that for 3-star and below characters, I don't put them on the tier list unless they place in B tier and above, so if you don't see a character here, it's because they would fall into C or D tier, which would be absolutely bloated if I were putting in low rarity characters. At this stage in the game, there is not a single 2 or 1-star character that is ever optimal or even suboptimal. They are all firmly in the weak category by now. Looking ahead to July, Kameko will be joining the roster, but she won't have a major impact. She won't be that good until we get Legendary Megamine, where she has a party buff that's basically steroids for Crypts and Demons. The permanent banners in the next month will have little to no impact in the meta, aside from getting better healers for dungeons. Swimsuit banners will begin, and they will introduce several very powerful new units for wind, earth, and water. And of course, Anniversary is not this month but the next month, which will upend the meta in many ways, but we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. That's the video, thanks for watching. I'm still working on guides for assists and 6-star weapons. I'll try and get those out sometime soon. Until then, have fun in Konosuba Fantastic Days, and we'll see you around soon.